This is my Senecio String of Dolphins. This one has been growing in here for the last few months. I've only had this for a bit over a year, and I've propagated, well, I started from a small plant. Hello there, my name is Liz, a self-confessed succulent addict. Welcome to my channel, Growing Succulents. Actually, it was a dying sale as well, so I got the plant for $5. So this is back then when they were still pretty expensive. So I think a small, about half the size of this one that you see in this pot here. Now this is my original plant, and from this original plant I already had a few cuttings, and they grow pretty fast and they love water. And contrary to popular belief that they don't like the sun, well, this one doesn't have any problem being grown out in the sun. I had a much thicker plant before that I was growing in the sun, which is this one here. It died because from lack of watering. Where I had this pot is up the top there, so I had it growing in there, and that covered the whole planter that I've got there. My idea was to have it cover this whole metal pole here. But the problem is I kept forgetting to water it, so eventually, of course, the plant sort of dried out and died. So it's been sitting there exposed to the frost and everything. It has survived the frost, but it did not survive the non-watering. And this one here, okay, so you can see it's sort of, there's no covering on this area, but then if I move to the left hand side, you'll see the roof now. That's got a bit of covering. So it's still sort of semi-protected from the element, because I've got this bird cage which I'm still gonna put some plants, but I haven't got anywhere to hang it. That's my problem here. I don't have anywhere to hang it wherein it can hold the weight. But then let's go back to the String of Dolphins. So Senecio raulianus cross Senecio articulatus. So this one, so look at that, it's like little dolphins swimming. And from this original plant, as I've said before, I already got a whole heap of babies, and from that plant now, so this one is just living there, sort of gets partly shade, but it does get exposure to the elements. So this year we only had -6, and it has survived that. Oh, look at that, so cute. Look at that. It's like little dolphins jumping out of the water, isn't it? Like, they're so gorgeous. They're gorgeous plant. Anyway, so just like this sedum burros tail here, it also lives in here, and look how thick it is. So my other one got hit by the frost out in the open over there, but it's still alive. But this one now is thriving in here, so it's about to flower as well. Look, so this one now, I'm starting again with that one. And hang on, my mother plant of this one is in my what do you call that, my little hospital. Oh no, look, I got burned. Okay, so but it doesn't matter. I don't worry about things like that. This is newly purchased plant. I have acclimatized it, but then the last couple of days I just potted it up and put it here. And when I potted it up, it's the same thing, exposure, so you don't even think. So those plants there are sun acclimatized, but those ones in the middle, those two, obviously they're in the back part of my pots where I was growing them, so they hardly get direct sun on them. So this one, see, look at that. See, that one's nothing wrong with that one. That one is sort of half in here, and then that one's okay, and that one's okay, and yet those two, that one the most suffered. So acclimatization is very important. So let's go back to my String of Dolphins. So if you do acclimatize them, they can get used to the condition that you put them in, or I put them in. Now you can, you don't have to be afraid. Don't be afraid. But I slowly put them here. So this one, I did not put it straight onto there. It used to actually live in this area here, and this pot here, there's no water. Hang on, I'll just lift this one. So you can see it's pretty moist. That metal pot thingy that used to have, I used to soak my string of dolphins in that pot. So every time it dries up, I lift it up and then no water, and I just drown it. So which means until the water, when I see the water sort of starts overflowing from the edge of this metal pot, then I stop watering and leave it there to soak up. So it loves water, just like every single Senecio, even the burros tail loves water. So you can see that's fairly moist. And also my string of pearls over here, which is already turned red and orange. So you've seen this in my few videos. This is exposed to the elements. It couldn't be more exposed to the element than where it is. And I have some, and this also prompted me to start putting some in my garden. So I should really put some in the garden. So they are pretty hardy plants. And I'm sure even the string of dolphins will survive the sun and also the winter frost that we get here in Canberra, Australia. So similar temperature or weather from other countries around the world or around the globe, same thing. So you have to slowly acclimatize your plants and find out what they can and what they can't survive, basically. So but what I tend to do is I have little pockets of plants. So I have a pot here and I have that big pot over there, and then I also took cuttings in here which I've grown in the shaded area. So let me take you there. The string of dolphins that I'm about to show you was a cutting that I've grown from here. So look, I still got leftover. Look, found that because I just repotted it today after being prompted to by Lizzie, there you go, to do a video and to not forget. So I thought I'll just do it quickly, and I pulled out the plants that was here, and really time to repot all these plants here because they're really not growing. So I'm not doing it even that one that is just getting so big and they're just green. So they get morning sun, and that's about it. By around say 10 o'clock, that's it, no more sunlight. So that's where it was growing here before. Hang on, that's that weed. So I just pulled it out, and it was only a small cutting, but actually that cutting started from that one's reverted back to articulatus. Hang on, where are you? String of, so it was probably about a couple of inches long when I planted it here, but it came from, I see I found a little bit. It started from one leaf like this. So let me take you there, I'll show you. So this long string of dolphins now that you see, so fairly green still because it just came out from that spot that I've shown you. This is freshly transplanted, and I've also watered it, and it actually have a pretty big bulb in it. So there's a few rooted plants in there. So you can see, oh look, so gorgeous. Oh, they're beautiful. Where are you? I lost my, okay, that one, that's a big one. That one's still attached, but I started with, hang on, I'll pull this one off. Come on. There you go. So I started with about the same size as this, and all I did was stick it in the soil, shaded area, but still getting, well, it was in my 50 zone, where I forgot what I used to call that area now because I changed the name, my clothesline area. So my plant hospital, there you go, my emergency room or intensive care unit for my succulents. So it started with a plant like with a leaf like that, and it grew some plant, and when it grew, it got to say about that size, only thicker, and then I transplanted it into my propagating area or my propagating tray, and then now from that plant, from that one plant, I just kept breaking it off. So like this one here now, so it started growing like this, and then once it gets too long, I just break it off like so, and then that one's even got a root. You can see that's got a bit of, hang on, soil. Look, I'm standing on, because I can't see, I'm a little short ass. I'm short, that's what it means when I say short ass. I'm short, so I can't reach the top of this to get the video. So now doing one hand now, so now you can take a cutting like that, find a spot in my little thing here, hang on, I'll just stick it in. There you go, like so. And I'm not even gonna put a hairpin or anything on that one. I'll just secure it with this one, so that way if it does want to fall off, it's gonna fall into this branch here. It's not gonna drop on the ground. And that one is, see, broken, dried up. Break that off and plant and stick it in and water it. I'm planting it actually. This is in my master succulent soil mix, but this master succulent soil mix, I gave it an extra helping of sea mungus for the fertilizer. So they love being fertilized. So fertilized probably twice a year. And I find that they say, oh, they're dormant in spring and summer. I haven't really noticed. I haven't really paid attention as to when is their best growing times. But as long as it's kept in shaded, bright, shaded area, I find that they seem to grow. There's no fuss or anything. And even in winter is when I think they start flowering, so which means they're growing. So there's no rhyme or reason as to when it's growing times, except when it's really hot. So like here in Canberra, here in Australia, we have high 30s and high 40s. When you reach, or Celsius, I'm going to convert that to Fahrenheit, of course. When we reach those temperatures, a lot of the plants, the senecious, they go dormant. So if you keep them, say, indoors, if you keep them somewhere bright light and shaded from the direct sun, but still getting plenty of light, and protected from the heat, so air-conditioned room, so it's somewhere cool, they will continue to grow. So that's what I find. So I've got some senecious growing inside, and they don't seem to mind. They don't seem to have a dormancy period. They grow whenever they grow, and I water them when the soil gets dry, and they seem to be thriving. So in here, because I expose my plants to the frost and the sun, that's the reason why I have to pay attention as to the growing condition. Otherwise, they're fairly easy plant to grow, just like all my senecious in here that's already gone amok. So these Raulianus now, the string of pearls, they have to be raised up and put up the top there. That way I'm creating like a whole wall of waterfalls. That's it. There you go, folks. A string of watermelon. That's Herianos. Oh, so many different names. And look at this. What are you? Spring. Chrysula, springtime. It's gone pink. Look at that. It's pink, the top, so I don't know what's going on in there. It's purging itself. It's popping its head off so new plants can grow. There you go, guys. There you go, Elizabeth, Lizzie. There you go. You've got your video. Thank you very much, guys. And you have a lovely, lovely, lovely day.